Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I was listening to a podcast recently, and among other things, they were talking about the fact that if you have cables routed through your headset, it's a lot easier to work on it if you have a workstand. So what other subject for today's video than workstands? Not any workstands, but the new Park 10.3. Let's check it out. Jokes aside, if you ever worked on your bike without a workstand, you know what that implies, so I highly recommend getting one. In my case, I started with the PCS-9 way back when, then I moved to a 10. This is a 10.2 that I've been using since 2019, and I've been pretty happy with it. This is the first model that introduced this teardrop shape of the tube so it doesn't rotate on its own anymore. But these days, if you were to buy one, you're gonna find the 10.3, the new generation of these, what's called deluxe home repair stand. On the box itself, there's not a whole lot of information. You just have a picture of the bike stand, and also you can see that the clamp can rotate 360 and this is foldable. On the back of the box, you're gonna see more information about Park, their website, the fact that this is manufactured in Taiwan, which is great. The old one was manufactured in China, and these are designed and engineered in the USA. Park Tool is based out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Good old staples are used to secure the box. As usual, grab a flat screwdriver, and I usually remove them completely so I don't scratch myself when I open the box. They use no less than 8 staples to secure the box, and here is my repair stand, the 10.3 in the patented Park Tool Blue. We have cardboard protecting all these parts, and in this little compartment we have the instructions manual and a lot of little bits and pieces. Aside from that, you're getting the little tool tray, the bike clamp assembly, the top tube, and finally the bottom tube with the legs already attached. Everything you need to assemble the workstand is included here, and this is a page that I would recommend to save it. Why? Because you have this exploded view with pretty much all the parts mentioned, so if you ever need any parts, it's all in here. Installation instructions in English are here at the back. You can see steps from 1 to 7. The very first one referring to this base legs and the bottom tube. Open up the legs, and this would be a view from the back where you're gonna see these two little holes. At the back of the tube is where the stop mentioned in the instructions is gonna get installed. Has an arrow that's gonna be pointing up, and it gets installed with the 2 smallest bolts available in the kit, and this is the 3mm Allen included. You would tighten these two to 3.5 Newton meters as mentioned in the installation manual. Next, we're gonna slide the yoke down, and as you come down, you're gonna see this new spring button that was added to the bottom tube. Push that in, slide down the yoke. Next, we're gonna secure the yoke with this M6 flange nut, and from the other side, you're gonna grab the knob and tighten it. Next, we're gonna connect the legs to what's called leg straps, and for that you're gonna have the bolts, 2 washers per bolt, a nut, and 2 spacers. We're gonna need this 5mm hex wrench and the 13mm little box wrench. Spacer between the strap and the lower leg. Second spacer is gonna be on the outside. But first, we're gonna grab the bolt and the washer, slide them from the side all the way, and then we're gonna grab the second washer, goes on the outside, and you have the little nut. The torque for this bolt is 5 Newton meters. Do the same for the other leg, and then it's time to move to this clamp assembly that's gonna get installed onto the top tube. And the first step is gonna be to disassemble this, so just unscrew it from the back. And as you do that, pay attention here. You have a needle bearing that's sandwiched between 2 washers. Take the clamp with that cone slide it right in, and you're gonna tighten it into position from the back. You can see grease here on that bolt, and remember, you have the tiny bearing that's gonna come right here at the back of the head. And you know that you're close to the end of the installation when you're running out of parts. The only things that are left are this little tiny tray and the 2 quick releases. And in order to continue, we're gonna have to remove this collar completely from the top tube. And as I do that, you're gonna see the shape, the teardrop shape of the tube. These are steel tubes. And if you look carefully here, maximum, that maximum means that you need at least this much of the top tube inserted into the bottom tube of your repair stand. The collar is going to be tightened onto this bottom tube using that little screw that's already installed until it stops. And you don't have to worry about the nut because it's captured here on the other side. And if you don't have a torque wrench, just keep in mind that when tightened to that 3 Newton meters, the 2 sides here are touching in the middle. Remove the nut from the quick release lever. Leave this other piece onto the bolt, and you're gonna slide one in the back of the tray, slide it over the top tube, and leave it there for now. Second QR lever goes here at the top. As you do this, make sure that you get past that maximum or minimum insertion point. Then tighten this knob and secure that top tube in place. Remember to tighten the quick release for your little tray, secure it in place, and believe it or not, my new work stand is complete. And for those of you wondering what's the maximum height of your bike stand, it's almost 5 feet. That is at the maximum insertion or minimum extension point of that top tube. And if you slide that tiny little tray all the way to the top, you can lower the bike lamp by up to 18 inches. But again, that would be with your tiny tray all the way to the top. So installation is pretty much very easy. If you've ever installed IKEA furniture, you can definitely install one of these. Now, in their documentation, they're talking about some of the improvements of the 10.3, and part of that is supposed to be here where the clamp is. Well, from everything that I've seen so far, there's no changes or no major changes between the two whatsoever. You can still lean the bike on the saddle right on top of the clamp. Clamp is micro adjustable and can accommodate tubes of pretty much any shape and size and material. And if you loosen that up from the back, you can pretty much move your bike in any position and then secure it in place. Whichever way you need to work on your bike, this can accommodate it. The tiny work tray that's provided with this bike stand seems to be absolutely identical. And as you move down, this is an optional work tray. It's called 106 if I'm not mistaken. But if you look here on the new 10.3, the 2 attachment points are identical. So all you have to do is lift this up and install it in the new bike stand. These are compatible 100%. So pretty much all the accessories are common between these 2 bike stands. You have this park tool bag. Most importantly, you have the handlebar holder. If you were to go for one accessory, this would be the one. And that brings us to the base of these work stands, where I think that Park solved an issue that was reported by quite a few users. The yoke on the old 10.2 had this quick release lever. It fully relied on it because it didn't have this little spring button that they added in the 10.3. By doing that, they would make sure that even though the quick release lever here, it's a bit loose, there wouldn't be any issues with this work stand pretty much folding forward. Imagine that quick release being loose and the bike stand pretty much folding forward under the weight of the bike. Now I have to admit that I don't have fat bikes and I don't have e-bikes, and my bottom quick release lever was pretty tight all the time. So I only read about this online. And I do love the option of folding this down and taking it with me when we go places. Otherwise, both 10.2 and 10.3 workstands are rated to the same maximum bike weight. That's 36 kilograms or 80 pounds. So if you have the 10.2, I don't see any good reason to get the 10.3 unless you have some issues with it, in which case I would probably recommend that you reach out to Park Tool. They've been very good to me anytime I had any issues with their tools. So what do you guys think? Do you like this new workstand from Park Tools? Do you have any questions for me? Do you like this type of video? Let me know in the comments below. I know I'll be busy right now putting all the fancy stickers on my new workstand. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, hope to see you on the trails. Cheers, guys. Cheers.